Hey, Agriculture Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. I apologize, it's been quite a while since we've done anything with the Firefly Petunias. But hey, we just did a little short video, maybe it's a long video, I don't know, I haven't made the cut yet, but we just did a video about transplanting the Firefly Petunias up into bigger pots to get them ready for our next round of cross-pollination. So I'm going to bring you close, we're going to chat a little bit kind of about the plants and kind of the direction I see and kind of why I've been a little quiet on that, and we'll just see where it goes. So come on in, let's trim some petunias, kind of tell you a little bit of why I'm making those decisions, and we'll see where it goes. All right, so this is just kind of a pruning video. So on these Firefly Petunias, we're coming in and we're removing all of the old seed pods, the ones that didn't take, that weren't pollinated, or at least the pollen that came in wasn't accepted, and there's no seeds formed. So we're just kind of pruning this one. Not a lot of these set seed, and I just kind of let them be pollinated naturally the last month or so. I have enough seed to mess around with, so now we need to kind of start our next round and refine our process a little bit more. But yeah, if you have a Firefly Petunia, it's not a bad idea to come in and trim all of those off. These are my Hydrofarm pruners. Use them for bonsai. If you live in a state that has a legal herb, you'll find them in those kind of shops. If not, you can find them on Amazon. I've featured them in a lot of videos, but yeah, so I'll keep you in that frame there. So they're really good about coming in, and when you prune, you're looking for these old seed heads, and generally, that's not a good example, that one's got too many. Generally, when you're looking at a petunia or something in the nightshade family, you're looking at these sepal arrangements here. So this is your petal. Your petal is actually a bunch of petals that are all fused together. So there are 5 petals fused together. You can see that here. So there's the central vein of that petal, and this is where they have fused together to form a cone-shaped flower. All right, so that, a cone or a trumpet. But that flower then has things in arrangements of 5. So these are the sepals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you look in the back side of the blossom, there's those 5 sepals there. What we want to do is we want to make sure that when we're grabbing them, we're grabbing ones that either they have the old dead blossom hanging out of them, so you can grab them like that, or you're looking in there and right at the center of all those sepals, there's like nothing, or there's a little tiny bit of brown. Those can be pruned off. You want to make sure you're not pruning off these parts right here, which is your next blossoms. Oh, and these are gentle wasps. Don't worry about those. They're just here to eat the caterpillars, but don't prune these off. Generally, these are going to be out on the tip of the stem or anywhere that it's actively blooming, and then you're going to find the spent blossoms back here further on the stem, because it blooms, it grows the tip out, and then the blossoms kind of bloom up in that order. So we're just going through and we're removing all of those, getting them out of the way, making sure they're not releasing any hormones that tell that plant to stop blooming, that it's done its job. So I see some seeds on here. That means there's probably either a seed pod on this one, or the plant that was next to it had a seed pod. Is that little guy right there? That's a seed. Or it could be a dropping. I think it was a seed. Looks like it. So anyway, we're going to go through and we're going to prune these up. And it does a couple of things. It's making sure that the plant continues to bloom, but also, in addition to that, it's just making the plant look prettier. Right? Everybody wants their Firefly Petunia to look pretty. So we're going to come in here, and this is work you can do every couple of weeks. And it'll keep your petunia happy, and it gives you an opportunity to go in and look for issues with your plant. Do be gentle. These are a fairly fragile petunia, so do be gentle as you're going through and doing that pruning, but make sure you're just grabbing those. Every once in a while, you're going to see what looks like a little acorn starting to form in there. No, that's a bit of a dead blossom. We'll find one. I'll show you one. It looks like a little acorn that's starting to form, and those are actually pollinated seed pods. This one is doing it. So this one, we've got our sepals, and then there's a little point in there that's green, and that's a seed pod that's been pollinated. And if we leave that one, it would become a bunch of seeds that we could harvest and use next year. But since we don't know what the cross-pollination was on it, we don't want it, we're going to get rid of it, because this is my breeding stock. I'm going to get all of this stuff out of here, and then we're going to do the cross-pollinations ourselves so that we know exactly what it was crossed with. Get all this cleaned up. Oh yeah, that's what you don't want to. That's what you don't want to prune off. We're going to go ahead and put that in this jar where I have a budworm. You can see him down there. We're going to go do an experiment with him. Last year I was the one that took a budworm and fed it a bunch of glowing blossoms to try to figure out whether if it ate the glowing blossoms, it too began to glow with any of the residuals in its gut. I wasn't thinking it was going to light up like a firefly, but I was wondering if that plant material that was inside the budworm was going to let off any light as it was being digested. And that was kind of funny because earlier this year I was kind of scrolling through Reddit answering questions about Firefly Petunias, and someone asked that same question of whether or not budworms would glow after eating glow-in-the-dark petunias. And someone says, yeah, some guy on YouTube did it. I was like, awesome. I've been cited on Reddit. You know, usually that's not a good thing, but in this case it was kind of fun. There we go. Look at that one. Looking snazzy. All right, we'll go ahead and put them in the back. And these are the gentle European paper wasps. So if you see those flying around and I look like I don't really care about them flying around, it's because I know that they're just here for those budworm caterpillars, and they're not going to sting me unless I actually grab them. So I'm kind of tolerant to that. I'm not allergic to them, so I don't really worry about it. But they're useful. They're one of my biological control agents that I get to take advantage of but don't have to take care of. So here we go, getting that branch looking nice. Get all this other stuff off, and got potting soil on here because we just potted those up. Let's get this branch taken care of. And going through and doing this is going to promote more blossoms. It's going to make it easier for us to do our pollination experiments. When you do this, you can kind of squeeze and pull up like that. Make sure you're cutting it before you start to pull. But as you do that, you can get it to move away from the cutters. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Just get those out of the way. This is a good kind of meditation action. So it's my version of a bonsai. Except all I'm doing is taking off the seed pods. Ooh, hey, here it is. There's another seed pod that's set. You can see that little pointy green acorn. We don't need him, so he goes away, but you might enjoy collecting that seed and planting it up. If you need instructions on how to do that, we do have a YouTube video. Just go ahead and search in the channel how to plant seeds like a professional, and that will come up. That'll be all your help that you need on there. In fact, there's a whole playlist on these Firefly Petunias. Sorry about bumping the camera. That can show you what you need to do on these. So, proper care and feeding, trimming, transplanting, all of that there is very, very useful. And that's coming from me, from my... That's bedworm sign right there. So that blossom is no good. We'll see. We'll open this up. These 8, yeah, pistil and the stamen, they're all gone. 8 down on the anthers, but I don't see him. So he might have gotten taken out by those gentle wasps and the European paper wasp. They're They are an introduced species, but they do good work, so I don't mind. Oops. Saw that one fly into the frame. This is more budworm damage here. So we do have an active budworm that's been in this area, so I'm kind of looking for him. But these guys, these paper wasps, are what comes in, and they sting them and haul them off to their grubs. So we don't mind that they're here. Oop, that one landed on the back of my neck. That's kind of exciting. As long as he doesn't get down my collar, we'll be okay. The other thing that you'll notice if you do a lot of pruning on Firefly petunias or any petunias in general, is just like tomatoes, they actually produce a sticky substance on their leaves, and I believe, if I've got this right, it is a actual type of sugar that's produced by the plant, and it's used as a defensive mechanism. So I know there's been research done on that, but you know, if you have a plant that has a lot more of that sugar production and it's a lot stickier, then that plant is going to capture and not allow a lot of pests to move around on its branches. So things like whitefly and aphids and thrips and spider mites and all of those get hung up in that sticky sugar, and they get it all over them, and then they have trouble moving around. So you're going to experience that as you go through and prune these, as your hands are going to get sticky. The cool thing though is it's a sugar. It does wash off your hands really easily. So you don't have to worry about it, unless you're allergic to plants in the nightshade family. So if you're allergic to tomatoes, oh, look at that. This is the first aphid I've seen. He's gone. If you're allergic to plants in the tomato or potato or nightshade family, or you're allergic to tobacco, be aware they're all in the same family. So you might have some sensitivity. So if you're sensitive to tobacco or potatoes or tomatoes, by all means, wear gloves. Wear gloves when doing this. Or phone a friend and have them come over and y'all sip a cup of coffee and have them prune your plant for you. You might have to buy them a Firefly Petunia, and then you can be Firefly Petunia besties. I did that. I bought a Firefly Petunia for a friend of mine. They helped me. Oh, hey, look at that. Can you see him? See that guy right there? Let's see if you're in frame. Yeah. There he is, right there. Try not to squeeze him. There you go. There's another budworm. It's a smaller one. In he goes. Can't believe they didn't get that guy. That's a relatively new one. I have noticed a lot less budworm on the Firefly Petunias than on my regular petunias, and I'm wondering if that has something to do with the glow. You know, I'm not certain. It's just kind of a theory, but I don't find them on these as much. I've found 2, but 2 is not a bunch. Anyway, that looks pretty good. Put that one back. Grab next one. There we go. All right, we're gonna make sure she's still in the frame. Do that. So what we're gonna do is that's my second caterpillar that I've found while I've been doing this. So we're gonna give him some more fresh blossoms off of our big stock plant, so we're not messing with the ones that we're going to be crossbreeding with. And then we're going to put them down in the dark and take some slow time-lapse photos and see. We can give him this one too. We'll give him that one too. That's kind of beat up. We'll take some time-lapse photos and see if we can see any glowing in their gut as they're consuming the glowing blossoms. I think that'll be kind of fun. I didn't find it last time, but I think it'll be fun on this time. There we go. There's another one. Gotta love those European paper wasps. They're such good helpers. So if you didn't know, this is budworm damage. A lot of times when it heads towards daytime, they'll eat a hole in the side of buds that are not quite open. So like this developing bud here, they would eat a hole in the side and go in, and they actually hide in the closed blossoms during the daytime a lot of times, so that predators don't get them. And then they eat the stamen, they eat the pistil, they eat the style. They just kind of get down in there and eat a lot of that, and it's no good. So I'll put that one, because that one's already portionally eaten. Put it in there, try to get them all nice and fat. Yep, the little one's on a blossom already. There's a big seed pod. Look at that guy. So if you haven't seen one, there's a good sized seed pod. So there are a few other experiments that are running right now. So if you have not seen the Venus flytrap one, we did fertilize some Venus flytrap flowers and got some seed set. We've had 2 of those germinate so far. So that's one of the videos you could follow. We've got a second channel running about machining, and then we're going to start our Christmas one real quick. You know, in the next few days, that channel will start posting more videos, and I'll be super busy. This seed pod, I think we're going to leave this one. That's a pretty good size one. It'll be random, probably mainly white, but it was in amongst the colored blossoms too, so we could get some colored ones out of it. But we'll just try it as an experiment. You never know. Yep, there we go. Mainly this one's got a lot of seed pods. Mainly just kind of clearing this one up. Hoping we find a couple more caterpillars. We can do some experiments on the caterpillars. See if they glow. Okay. Well, if you have any more comments or questions about Firefly Petunias, go ahead and drop them down in the comments. I do answer all of the questions about once a week. Sometimes it takes me a little bit more, just depending on how busy I am.